I'm going to go over today some movements that are great for people who aren't flexible. No idea how many people I have come to me and tell me, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. Well, you do yoga to get more flexible. We do yoga to get more strong. We do yoga to become more present in our bodies. So I would say the difference between people who are really flexible and people who aren't flexible is that the flexible people just have to go further in order to achieve the same sensation in their body. So they might not feel that hamstring stretch until they get a little bit further, whereas someone might feel it a little bit earlier on in a pose when you're getting into it. So today I'm just going to go over a few poses that you can modify and use in your body however it feels good for you and however it serves you. So first we're going to start off with a nice little forward fold. Forward fold is always kind of the best way to just release the low back. You're going to stand with your feet about hips distance apart. And kind of ground down through all four corners of both feet so you're feeling really even, really grounded. You're going to take a slight bend in the knees and just allow yourself to just kind of drip down and take as deep of a bend in the knees as you feel is necessary to you. If your hamstrings are really tight, you might need to go a little bit further in that bend. Or if you're feeling a little bit more open, your knees can start to go back. If you're going to grab opposite elbows with your hands and let your head and neck just dangle between your arms and just let everything kind of hang down. Sometimes my thighs always get a little bit shaky, but that's okay. It just means that it's kind of working. So you're gonna let your head and your neck release completely. You can even shake your head yes and no a little bit, just kind of loosen it up. I'm just gonna hang there for a couple minutes. This is also technically an inversion. So anywhere where your heart is above your head, and you're refreshing some of that blood flow into your brain, activating all that good stuff. So from here you can walk out your fingers to downward dog. So downward dog, everyone kind of brushes over this, and sometimes you hear teachers tell you that down dog is a resting pose. Well, you can work down dog and you can make it a really strong pose, or you can make it as passive as you'd like to. So hands are spread, fingers are spread nice and wide, hands are about shoulders width apart, feet are still hips distance apart. And you'll notice even in me, I've been doing yoga for years and my heels still do not reach the ground in the full pose. So just because you see these other super yogis getting their heels all the way down to the ground, it's not for everyone. Everyone's body is different. So what you can do in down dog, you can bend your knees as much as you need to and press your chest back to your thighs so you're really working into your shoulders. You're opening up your shoulder girdle. And taking that deep bend in your knees is also lengthening through your tailbone. So your tailbone is reaching up towards the sky, as if there's a hook that you're hanging off of from the ceiling, and your feet and your hands are just dangling and creating a triangle shape. So you'll even notice that my legs might be shaking in this one as well. And from here you can even start to press your heels down towards the earth and straightening your legs, but only if that's available in your body. If you're still not feeling that, you can do down dog with bent knees your entire practice. So from here, you can come down to your knees. And cat-cow is always a really great one for everyone. Usually every yoga class you go to, they'll just go through this for a little bit. So as you inhale, you're going to follow your breath. You inhale, open up your chest, drop your belly down towards the earth, hips up. And as you exhale, chin tucks in towards your chest. And you just follow your breath. Inhales and exhales. You can do that for a few rounds, opening up through your spine. That's Charlie. Don't mind him. And from here, you can come to a neutral spine. You can walk your hands out or come to Anahatasana. So the forehead comes down to the earth, and your hands can be just as close as they need to. So maybe you only come here, and you're dropping your chest towards the earth. So again, it just depends on how open you are in your shoulders, how open you are in your upper back. And you're just going to let your chest and your shoulders drop. So it's literally heart chakra pose. Anahata is the heart chakra. It's opening up through your heart center. So some other great movements would be even just a low lunge, because this is really attainable for everyone. And again, looking at what feels good in your body. So for your knees, your back knee, it could be on the earth, the back toes can be on the earth, or you can tuck under the toes, and maybe that feels a little bit more comfortable on your knee. So whichever way feels comfortable for you. And again, we can do this one with breath. So you can inhale, open up through your chest, and exhale, come back to a half split. So your front toes curl towards your face, and again, you're getting into that hamstring. So it's such a big muscular group right here, and most people we get really jammed up here. So you can hold this for as long as you want. You can rock back and forth with your inhales and exhales. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, rock back. I'm just gonna go 2 more, make it 5. Inhale and exhale. And from here, you can just take a gentle twist too. So again, going only as deep as feels good to your spine today. You can even take your hand to the top of the thigh and help to kind of manually twist from deep into the belly. So we're not kind of throwing the shoulder back, but in every twist there's also a little bit of a back bend. So you're rolling your shoulders back and you're twisting from the belly. And come back and do the other side. So you can tuck your toes, lift the back leg, step back, down facing dog. Even out, left side, second side, inhale, come forward. Just kind of like rocking into that hip a little bit, even just getting some little extra movements. And exhale to come back. So we'll do 5 rounds of that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And do 2 more. Inhale. Heart moves forward, shoulder goes back. Exhale, chin towards your chest. Nice long spine. Inhale. Exhale. And as you inhale, come forward, taking a twist on the other side. So this bottom shoulder is going to roll back away from your ear. You get that nice long expansiveness through the front of your chest. And you can also, again, take your hand to the belly of the thigh and help twist deeply from your belly. And tuck the back toes, step back downward facing dog. So the body loves repetition. And the more you do this, it's just like that whole practice. It's called a yoga practice, not a yoga mastery. So just taking as deep of a bend in the knees as you need to. Sometimes just some little simple movements can also help open up your downward dog. So there's a couple of little tricks here. You can take your index toe and your big toe, hook it on the outside of the ankle, and use that to kind of manually press your heel down. It's a great little extra stretch. Making sure you do both sides. So these are a couple little tricks to help you open up into your downward dog. Another one is lifting the heels nice and high and then dropping them over to one side. So your hips are still staying high, but you're getting a nice side body stretch. So you should feel it in the hip and the side body, and just should feel really nice, and then returning back to your neutral downward facing dog. So another really great pose is warrior 2. So from downward dog, you step your right foot forward in front of your mat, right in between your fingers. So right down the middle of the mat, you're going to slide your back heel down. So you're going to get a heel to arch alignment. And as we come up, the idea is to try to get a 90-degree bend in the knee. Ultimately, it can be a bit strong. So if this is too much for you, you can kind of back out of it. But we want our knee to be tracking directly over our ankle. So if this is as far as you go today, that's totally fine. We can wiggle our toes out a little bit as we go deeper. So this is really strong opening up for the hips. It's a really easy pose for anyone to really attain in their bodies. Warrior One can be a little bit tricky, especially if you have any tightness in your hips or your low back. I know for me, it's still a little bit tricky. And Warrior Two can be as deep or as soft as you'd like it. You can just switch your feet. Ooh, my hip just popped. And go on to the other side. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, wiggle your toes out. And just let yourself sink in, tucking your belly underneath you, allow your tailbone to drop. And also remembering to press to the outer edge of your back foot. So it's going to give you a lot of stability. It's going to fire up that back leg. It's also going to lift through that arch. So we always want to make sure we're lifting through our arches because it really affects the rest of the body. So another great one is a wide-legged forward fold. Again, you can modify this as much as you want. You can have your feet as close together as you'd like, or you can have them further apart. It just depends on what feels good in your hips. So this is really great to take your hands into a clasp behind your back. And you're gonna open up your shoulders. So we're gonna kind of let our heart lift up towards the sky, lifting through the chin. And then as we exhale with a long, flat back, just folding forward. So you may only get here. You may come a little bit further, but without sacrificing the shoulders. So make sure your shoulders are moving down and you're not going like this and crunching into the back of your neck. You have your shoulders moving out and down, chest nice and long, and then go forward. And if you have a friend to help you, sometimes you can have your friend pull your arms a little bit, ever so slightly, so it gives you a little bit extra. So those are your yoga movements for this week. If you're feeling really inflexible or you're just starting your yoga journey, perhaps you don't have time in the morning to hit the gym or do a full practice, and those are some great movements just to get into the hips and low back, just kind of get everything really juicy and free flowing for the rest of your day. So that's your video for this week, some yoga movements brought to you by Connect Foods. I'm Ashley Storm. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Connect Foods, and I'll see you there.